mentioned earlier talking about being a woman in recovery, a woman who is recovering.
Correct.
I thought of Demi Lovato immediately, right?
Yeah.
And I know that the question has kind of been, when she comes out of this, what happens to her? When she comes out of this, what does she really need? And I mean, as a person who's gone through some of this.
I mean, what would your advice be?
Well, let me first say that when, you know, it's like she was sober for a long time. I was a woman who was sober for a long time, and my disease presented again. And, you know,
How long were you sober before you then relapsed?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes. And so what I've learned is that time sober doesn't necessarily treat, nor does it necessarily heal a substance use disorder. And so people are always so focused on how long have you been sober.
Right.
When in fact you see people going back into their disease all the time. And so we wouldn't blame someone if their cancer presented again, or if they had a diabetic event. And I think that we're really focused on this as a moral issue, when in fact we should be looking at it as a mental health crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I would think that the best thing for Demi Lovato would be to go to treatment and do what she did before, and really focus on your recovery.
And knowing that the time sober, it doesn't address all the things of why you were drinking too, and there's no shame in falling off the wagon and getting back on. You know, I think that's a great message. And
Thank you.
I think,
And I think, you know, there's this idea, and I think what her friends have said is, you know, there's this myth of moderation, that you can control that if you are going to have a drink or two, it doesn't mean you've relapsed. Can you address
who
that?
says that?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think people who are addicts who think I can moderate my behavior, I can have one or two drinks. It's not going to make me then go to the crack.
You know, denial basically means don't even know I'm lying.
Yeah.
Don't even know I'm lying. It's like I'm speaking a truth that I've created. I mean, look,
And you are a drug counselor, we should say. And you've worked in this industry
I work in a treatment center in West Hollywood called Breathe. And here's the deal, is that there are people who were heavy hitters, maybe back in the 80s doing a bunch of coke and stuff like that, that can have a drink now and then. I am not one of them. Abstinence is the key for me. And a lot of people that I work with, you know, people come into treatment and they think, well, I'm still going to drink. I'm like, you know, I mean, it's really, really a slippery slope. And the idea that I can just have a couple drinks on a Friday night but you know what? For most people with a substance use disorder, a couple of drinks leads to a gram of blow.
It's a gateway.
It's you know, I mean,
yeah,
certainly did for me.